Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Ma'am Diana. Good morning, Miss Ferrer. And this our report is School-Based School Head Management. Let's work together, do our best to learn as much as we can, and respect and support each other through all the challenges. Let's do this. School Head in School-Based Management, or SBM, presented by Rodriguez, Toneza, and Takdoro. And before I'll begin to our topic, I'll just share this quote that tell me and I forget, teach me and may I remember, involve me and I will learn, from Benjamin Franklin. Desired learning outcomes. Explain the meaning, advantages, disadvantages, and demands of SBM. State practices aligned to SBM and explain the roles, functions, competencies of school. Meet the group. First reporter is Rodriguez, and that's me. Second reporter is Toneza, and the last part of the reporter is Miss Takdoro. School-based or SBM. The Local Governance Code 1991 or Article Republic Act 7160 provided for a more responsive local government structure through a system of decentralization, where local governments are given power, authority, responsibility, and sources. What is school-based management? School-based management is a decentralized management initiative by developing power or authority to school heads, teachers, parents, and students. Its strategy to improve education by transferring significant decision making authority from DepEd central offices, regional offices, division offices to individual school. The stakeholder has the control, power, and responsibility. Only the school has a direct power, especially if its school matters. Also, the school improvement plan, achieve better learning environment. As SBM, doon po siya papasok yung, kumbaga, school to school lang siya. School to school basis. If may problema sa school, hindi agad siya ipaparating sa head office agad. Kumbaga parang tinatry munang ayusin ng teacher kung ano yung problema at saka siya tapos isi-share sa stockholder kung talagang hindi na kayang ayusin. Support the strong support of school staff. Syempre, if ever that there's a problem in school, the stockholder or the staff should support and para maayos kung ano yung naging problema. SBM is more successful if it's implemented gradually. It may take a lot of years but it will be worth it. In terms of SBM kasi, hindi siya agad-agad na pa-process. Kumbaga parang long-term process siya, pero sobrang worth it. And school and district staff must be given administration training but also learn how to adjust to new roles and challenges of communication. Hindi naman pwedeng magsasalpak na lang tayo ng kumbaga parang, oh, dyan ka, ganun. Kumbaga, syempre, kailangan din natin mag-attend or kung yung ipapasok natin ng mga staff sa school natin is yung may alam or nakapag-seminar. Financial support must be provided to make training and time for regular staff meeting. Syempre, kung magpapaseminar tayo, hindi yun biro kasi syempre, we will pay to the speaker. Syempre, kailangan ng support ng stockholders. Stockholders must always be involved in everything that we do or the school will do. School-based management and principle of subsidiarity. Nothing should be done by a larger and more complex organization which can be done as well by smaller and simpler organization. In other words, any activity which can be performed by more decentralized entity should be done by the more decentralized entity. Advantage of school-based management. Allow competent individuals in the school to make decisions that will improve learning. Syempre, sa school, hindi naman sa isang school or organization, hindi naman magpa-function yun kung tayo-tayo lang or kung teacher, staff, principal lang naman yung andon. Syempre, andun yung pag may estudyante, syempre may magulang. So pagka siyempre yung estudyante, nakadepend pa rin naman sila sa magulang. So kung ano yung magiging desisyon natin sa mga sa school, mga school projects or anything na event na involve ang mga estudyante, i-she-share kumbaga kaya may PTA kasi do'n papasok na i-she-share natin sa mga magulang kung ano yung mga balak natin na gawin sa school at kailangan natin na magdesisyon kasama sila kung agree ba sila or mas siyempre makakapagbigay sila ng magandang ideas. Give the entire school community a voice in the key decision. Katulad ng sinabi ko kanina, kailangan natin yung mga ibang desisyon or suggestion ng ibang tao or mga magulang, estudyante o kapwa natin guro. Siyempre hindi naman tayo alam nating mahirap magdesisyon. Kailangan siyempre involved din lagi dun yung stockholder kasi malaking ano talaga sila, part sila ng ano, ng organization. Practice focus and accountability for decision. Kung desisyon tayo ng para sa school at para sa lahat, we'll take accountability for it. Talagang kailangan sure natin na magiging success lahat ng mga plano na gagawin natin. Lead greater creativity in design of programs. Siyempre kapag may mga programs, katulad ng mga buwan ng wika, dun pumapasok yung yung lahat ng creativity ng bawat isa, dun papasok. Redirect resources to support the goals and development of each schools. Siyempre, no man is an island, sabi nga nila. Kumbaga parang hindi naman tayo magiging success kung tayo lang yung kung tayo lang yung umaangat or nagkakaroon ng magagandang idea. Siyempre, i-share din natin yun sa ibang schools. Leads to realistic budgeting as parents and teachers become more aware of schools' financial status, spending limitations, and the cost of its program. Siyempre, in terms of budgeting, it's a big responsibility for everyone. Kailangan kapag nagbigay tayo ng pera or ng donation, kailangan mapapakita natin sa lahat na kung ano yung pinakatunguhan, kung ano naging result nung pinaglaanan natin ng budget. Improve moral of the teachers and nature's new leaderships at all levels. Disadvantage of SBM creates frustration in decision making. Of course, in terms in decision making, it's one of the creates frustration in decision making. It's one of the foremost hard thing to do, especially when you are belong in a larger or big organization. When you feel frustrated and irritated, it's normal. And it's normal, but don't let those feeling makes things worse. Interest, training, budgeting of the council members. Katulad nga nung sinabi ko kanina, sa interest, doon papasok yung mga seminars, training, kasi syempre kung may ganon, kailangan natin ng budget. Participatory decision making needs time and many slow dance process. Decide tayo, make sure talaga na magiging success. Katulad ng sinabi ko kanina, magiging success kung ano yung mga gagawin natin. Kahit matagal, basta magiging worth it lahat. Involving stakeholders, parents, teachers, students, and other members of the community, it also helpful in the mobilization of local resources to complement public resources. Demands of school-based management, active intelligent participation of stockholders, katulad po nung sinabi ko kanina, always involve the stockholders in everything and anything that we do. Democratic and transformative leadership of school head. In terms of school head, hindi lang naman yun yung kumbaga parang sa division lang, hindi naman ayun sila. Pag sa school head, halimbawa, siguro aware naman tayo sa mga head ng English, head ng Filipino, head ng different subjects. Kailangan yung leadership ng bawat isa is good kasi para maging success, kung ano yung mga gusto natin, maging learning outcome ng school natin. Because SBM is promoting a better learning environment, support and openness of higher authorities of school. Reporter po.
Good day, everyone. I am Amanda Tonesa, and today I will discuss the roles and competencies of school head in school-based management. So first, let's discuss um, role what is role, competencies, and school head. So when we say a role is a series of connected behaviors, the rights, the obligations, beliefs, and conventions uh, that people is in a social setting conceptualize. So sa isang posisyon, mayroon tayong iba't ibang papel. So that is actually one of the example of a role. So next is competencies. So when we say competencies, this is the actually the knowledge, abilities, the behaviors, and skills of individual that contributes towards the success and of course the performance of an organization. Next is the school head. Um, at, the, ano this school head, this is actually both administrative and instructional leader. So when we know that the primary function of the school is the students' learning, so the school heads spend more time as an instructional leader. He or she further supervise instruction by observing the teachers. So ayun, sa nabasa ko sabi ni Choi Wang na yung school heads have various areas of responsibility including the human resources, the financial resources, educational activities, the students and the teachers, yung external relations, the well-being of students and the teachers, and of course um, the teaching students. So sabi nga, good leadership in schools fosters nurturing learner and environments that helps children grow and develop. So yan, Republic Act number 9155, an act instituting of framework or governance of for basic education, establishing authority and accountability, renaming the Department of Education, Culture and Sports as the Department of Education, and for the other purposes. So yung Republic Act 9155, the governance of the Basic Education Act of 2001. So, also known as the Republic Act 9155 establishes an integrative framework for principal empowerment. So it enhanced the principal and leadership goals as well as the local school-based administration towards maintaining the transparency and of course the local responsibility. Let's take a look at the competencies expected of school head is as contained in the National Competencies Based Standards for School Heads or NCBSSH. Yun nga, issued in DepEd Order number 32 series of 2010 on April 16, 2010. And now let's try to find out what is NCBSSH and how important it is for school heads. Many teachers could be thinking and wondering why they are the only subject of national competency standards, whether immediate superiors, the school heads are not bad. It's not actually the case for like the other teachers who are considered as the heart of the school system. So, what is NCBSSH? So, ayan. Again, DepEd Order number 32 series of 2010 defines it as a list of competency standards which can be used as basis for the school heads, decision making, actions, and performances of their functions. So, is used as basis for the preparation of comprehensive training and development based on expected tasks that will be utilized to deliver training programs to ensure efficiency, effectiveness, and excellence of school heads' job performance. So NCBSSH, um, or the National Competencies Based Standards for School Heads, is basically a self-appraisal tool, so which is accomplished by the school heads themselves. So the school heads are asked to complete a self-assessment instrument where they identify the behaviors they have con- consistently demonstrated in their role as school head across the seven domains. So next is so there are guiding principles in making NCBS SH, the function based, responsive, impartial, coherent, and valid. So yan yung 5 principles na which guided the framing of the NCBSSH. The first one is the function based. The competencies are based on the school head function as stated in RA 9155, related laws and DepEd policies. Next is the responsive. So sa responsive, competencies are applicable and in any range of context, big or small school, city or rural school. So culturally divergent group. Next is the impartial. So these are applicable to any school heads regardless of position, item, gender, age, experience, and other personal circumstances. Next is the coherent. So these are clear and logical. And last is the valid. So all performance are indicators, um, are research and experience based. So next is the core principle. School heads are competent, committed, and accountable in providing access to quality and relevant education for all through transformational leadership and high degree of professionalism. So we have here the core, next po pala. Yan. So we have here the core principle. So in the core principle, there are different domains. So we have first the domain 1, which is concerned about school leadership. So the domain 1 is actually the process of engaging, leading, and efforts of teachers, the students, and parents towards achieving a common goal. Common goal of it, or the educational goal, whereas it is further concerned towards the developing and communicating the ano ba yun, yung vision, mission, goals, and yung objectives or ng isang school or BMGO. So this actually concern also the um, base strategic planning, so the problem solving, the building high performance, teams coordinating with others, and of course leading and managing change. Next is domain 2, instructional leadership. So um, in domain 2, we have the instructional leadership. Okay, dito sa instructional leadership, it is actually the school leadership approach in which a principal collaborates with teachers to give support and advise the development of effectively teaching practices. This is actually concerned in assessment for learning, the developing programs and adapting existing programs, implementing programs for instructional improvement and instructional supervision. Next is domain 3, creating student-centered learning. So it is actually creating student-centered learning climate. So dito dito naman sa creating a student-centered learning climate is it is actually concerned in the setting high social and academic expectations, creating the school environment focused on the needs of the learners. Next is the domain 4, which is the management and professional. It is concerned in creating a professional learning community, recruitment and hiring, the managing performance, or it is actually concerned in the management performance of the teachers and the staff. So next is the domain 5. It focuses um towards the parents involvement and community partnership. So it is concerned actually in the parent involvement and the external community partnership. Next we have the domain 6, school management and daily operations. So it is concerned the managing the school in operation and the physical management. And lastly, we have personnel and professional attributes and interpersonal effectiveness. So it is concerned in professionalism, communication, interpersonal sensitivity and calmness, and honesty and integrity. Next po. So, competencies framework for Southeast Asian school heads. In 2003, the Southeast Asian Ministers of Education Organization Regional Center for Educational Innovation and Technology, or SIM Innotech, developed with competencies framework for Southeast Asian school heads. So, what is what So again, competencies framework for Southeast Asian school heads. So, Ministry of Education of Michelle Smith may find the framework an important and useful benchmark. School heads may find it useful in keeping themselves informed of competencies that they need in order to successfully perform their role as school heads and in Southeast Asia. So the competencies framework was envisioned to provide a common foundation for defining what skills and attributes are needed of school heads in order to effectively carry out their roles and lead their school to excellence and success. So since then, the framework had been used as basis for Innotech, Innotech's program offerings for school heads in the region. So next pa. So, ayan. So, the 5 general competencies ranked by participants in terms of their importance, frequency, performance, and amount of training. Training school heads would need the most as policy. One one so ayan. One is strategic thinking and innovation. Two is managerial leadership. Three is instructional leadership. Four is stakeholder engagement. And the last one is the personal excellence. Next po. So yeah, the legal basis. So let's forward to the legal basis of school-based management. So school-based management is not made in out of nowhere, and school business management has school-based management has legal basis. So the Republic Act 9155, Section 2, as the legal basis of pursuing school-based management governance of basic education should begin at the national level. It is at the regions, divisions, schools, and learning center where the policy of principle of governance of basic education shall be translated into programs, projects, and service developed and adapted and offered to fit local needs. So another legal basis, as stated in Article 10, Section 3 of the Philippine Constitution, the Congress shall enact a local government code that will institutionalize a system of decentralization whereby the local government units shall be extended more power authority. So in our government structure, when we see that, we expect that in the higher position they have more power in authority. So yung dun sa article na they give more authority and power to manage their subject because they are more engaged, like in government they can properly manage and uh, their subject because they know more about their work. So next pa. So next is the conditions for the success of school-based management. So first is the teachers and school heads are given the opportunity to make choices. So they must actively participate in the school improvement planning. So teachers and the school heads, sila yung mangunguna, and they are the ones who set a meeting, facilitate as a whole. Other stakeholders primarily role is to help meet its strategic objectives by contributing their experience and perspective to project. Next is pabalik po ulit. Yan. Thank you. Next is involvement of parents and teachers is strongly encouraged and welcome. So yung all the parents should attend kung magpapatawag ng meeting sa school. Yun nga, like PTA meeting. Dahil syempre may mga dapat malaman yung mga parents kung may problema or may issue yung anak nila, and yung mga plano and concerns, yung mga opinions ng mga magulang ay kailangan malaman rin ng mga teachers. Kasi mas makakabuti yun sa mga anak nila. So next is the stakeholders are to participate in the development of a school improvement plan. So they must have a say on resource allocation to meet specific needs. So dito stakeholders play important role in managing school. So they are the partner of the school leaders in making the school contribute to teaching and learning. So yung stakeholders are more knowledgeable kung saan ang paggamit ng mga local resources. Next po. Higher authorities must actively encourage thoughtful experimentation and innovation in an atmosphere where mistakes are viewed as learning experience. Next is the teachers must develop reflection problem solving. So the reason why we are conducting school-based management is to solve problems. So dapat ang teacher may kakayahang mag-reflect sa isang sitwasyon. Kung kaya ba nila yung i-access yung mga information and opinions ng kanilang mga estudyante or ng other people. Next is school must basic resources. So like for example, yung pandemic. So most of the students ay modular. Yung katulad ng sa sa mga high school, gano'n. Sa elementary, modular sila. So, um, at, it is very useful as supporting tools in teaching and learning by giving the flexibility to access the files and materials without the supervision of instructor in a formal way such as browsing the organizations yun nga magkakaroon ng virtual learning environment whether sa at schools. So next po is schools di pala yan. Next po. Sorry. Schools must have developed an effective support system. So dito yung school cannot stand alone without support among stakeholders. So as a students and yun nga sa mga parents, especially yung mga economic alumni, sila yung mga support system ng schools. Next, the last one is the schools are provided with regular information on their performances. Example for this is yung evaluation not just for the teachers. Hindi lang siya sa teachers evaluation but also sa ating mga sa ating school performance sa pangkalahatan na. And that's all for my report. Thank you.
So, good day everyone. I am Nizi A. Takdor. So, factors of school effectiveness based on research. Strong and effective principal leadership. So this is about being flexible of a school principal, wherein he is not just telling what to do, but rather inspiring teachers and stakeholders, learners, and parents, etc., to do work with love and compassion. It may serve in different ways, like giving award and recognition to teacher during their excellent and untiring performance for the school year. Next one, sustained focus on instruction and learning. So to give emphasis on the academic performance of the school, coordinators have adapted and proposed programs for literacy and numeracy. Also, the teachers are encouraged to have research for further support regarding the academic excellence of school and learners. The school also invites stakeholders to be part of the program like Brigada Eskwela and Brigada Pagbasa. Third one, safe and positive school climate and culture. So, to maintain safe and positive school climate, schools are engaged and have programs on that child bullying. So the literature suggests that establishing a school climate characterized by shared goals, safety, and positive student culture supports effectiveness. By creating a shared vision and a collaborative learning community and maintain an orderly environment in which learning can take place, lead to effectiveness. Next one. High, high expectation for all students and staff. So there are parents teacher conference every quarter as to address or report the students' progress to the parents. Learners who have high academic performance are recognized. So next one, effective use of student achievement data. So those identified learners who have low academic performance are monitored and they are the recipient of the adopted enrichment program. They will undergo for remediation. So next one, teaching practice. As to promote professional development among teachers, trainings and seminars are given by the region, division, and outside the organization. In the school level, they are required to have school learning action cell, where teachers have school-based seminar that
address their areas that they need to improve based on the result of their ESAT or public school. Example, the positive use of ICT as an instruction. Next po. Product parent involvement. So effective school engage parents in activities that offer the greatest impact on students' achievement, such as becoming involved in their children's schoolwork. Other useful approaches to involve parents include an open door, school policy, parents' assistance in the classroom, and open on field trips, and the mutual sharing of student progress information with parents. Next one, building staff skill. So aside from well-trained and professional teachers, skilled guidance counselor, school also have highly qualified AO or administrative officer who is in charge of the school documents. School effectiveness is strongly correlated with the provision of highly quality on-site staff development. Practical professional development opportunities closely synchronized with school that take shared responsibility for students' outcomes are key. Next po. So, PASBE. PASBE is a accreditation process wherein sila yung nag-check sa mga public and private school, either elementary or high school. Kung namimit ba nila yung standard na nakapaloob sa ginagawa ng mga stakeholders or ng DepEd. So, next po. Human factors that contribute to school effectiveness. Human factor. So, human factor, additional factors that influence effective schools include time to learn, teacher quality, and school and parental trust. Research supports the commonsensical view that the more time a student spends learning and the more efficiently that time is used, the higher their achievement. So for the last, non-human factors. This refers to clear and shared vision, mission, high expectation, ambition, and accountability. So that's all for my topic.
Thank you for listening. To conclude our topic, to conclude the topic of our report, the SBM is to promote high quality education for all and for every student. Thank you.